Welcome back, heroes. We are headed into the third and final round of the Wednesday Webcam Weekly tonight, and we've got what I think is going to be a very, very aggressive deck versus a very, very more controlling and defensive deck. But honestly, who knows what could happen? We're looking at Shoto 2 up against Shigaraki 3, except Shoto is on the order symbol, the defensive control symbol, and Shiggy's on the death symbol, the more aggressive one. So I'm really eager to see how this matchup plays out.
Yeah, these are two characters who are catered towards what the opposite player is actually executing, right? You expect the seven-hander to be more controlling, and you expect the aggro six-hander who grabs his momentum and puts stun and 2-2 on everything to be more aggressive. But the I think that what we're going to see here, looking at the pile of cards that I've sort of been gandering through, is we're going to see one guy trying to break through a wall and the other guy trying to churn butter.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of gandering at these lists here, and there's definitely some spicy things going on. But I think, honestly, the characters interacting with each other is going to be interesting enough because it's going to be pretty tough to get that once per game off as Shoto keeps telling us to pick our momentum back up. However, if we're simultaneously snapping in dual needle lunges, I'm super cool with you just giving me dual needle lunge back every turn.
Yeah, I mean, it's a double-edged sword, right? Because if we do lose that 3 life every time, that's 3 less damage that the opponent has to be doing. Imagine a situation where you have a mastermind on your opponent's board and they get to use it twice, you know?
Right. Like, I'm gonna let you pick up this mastermind, but if I'm gonna do that, I gotta make sure I'm always ready to pay 2 to pass a Shigaraki check, a 5 check.
Right, yeah. I'm just imagining Shigaraki getting a masterminding out. This is the bluest screen I've ever seen in my life.
Amazingly enough, not only Christopher is this the bluest screen, it's not the screen of Christopher Blue. Christopher Blue is Shoto.
It really makes you wonder, huh?
Mm-hmm. Strange world we live in, isn't it?
Strange world.
Man, I love Shoto's build here. Got a lot of interesting pieces on the board. Citywide Crisis, I love to see. I think this card is so underrated. I think this card's like a crazy, crazy piece that like every deck should at least be 1xing.
So this this new Plus Ultra kit gave us so many cool new defensive tools to play with. It gave us an Omni block in the form of a
Red Guard, man. Holy cow. What a card.
It gave us 2 separate resets for speed, and one of them also doubles up as a damage reset. That's the word I'm looking for. It's really cool what it did, kind of sneakily moving numbers in the into the slower direction. As we see that design really wants us to have the tools to be able to deal with early and late aggression, which is neat. I like that as a a guy who likes impactful foundations. But yeah, tell me about the Citywide Crisis card.
Yeah, this card's amazing. It's so good, like just as a generic control piece, especially for like those symbols. That's the biggest thing about this card and those symbols. Evil, Order, Void, they don't have cards like that. You gave the Citywide Crisis to Life or Water or Good, they might not really care all that much. But those three, dying for a card like this, and it's got a nice block mod. It pays the water symbol tax, right? Where it checks a 4 to be not a +3 or 4 block mod. But those symbols who are flooded with those bad block mods are super duper down for that to happen. They're more than okay with it. We've also got Unexpected Hero on Shoto's board, which I really like. It's also a card I feel like I don't see enough of sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing for me about that card is that it's playable while committed, right? It's a card that you can't just jolt and not have to deal with.
Oh, Citywide? Yeah. Return to Printed Speed is already an insane ability, but playable while committed? Crazy daisy. Nuts. The fact that like those 3 symbols can now just like aggress into you, commit this willy-nilly, and then have it sitting there ready to just stop your biggest thing. It's just so good. It's so genuinely good.
And now getting into the game a little bit, we see that the Shigaraki has gone and found their dual needle lunge, right? So if we find another attack and play it, that's the interesting thing, is that the Todoroki could potentially just put it right back in her hand. But we don't do that. We want our momentum. We want the Todoroki to actually have to consider their options on their own turn.
Yeah, we have immediately placed Christopher into this decision tree. You can let me once per game next turn, or you can give me dual needle lunge back. Neither of those are fantastic spots to be in, right? They just aren't. They just aren't.
Right.
You know, we've seen this battle before. We're really going to be fighting for momentum, and it'll be so punishing if we do use the Shoto enhance to get rid of the once per game ammo, and then at some point we fail a check, and then Dylan just goes, "I'll use Masterminding."
Yeah, I'm gonna find it anyway.
Yeah.
And for this turn, this is the new one, Blazing Icicle out of the anniversary box.
Yeah, that's our lovely little class reunion ranged move here. I think this card is really cool. On fire and water, it will almost never see play because Heat Wave exists. But you know what Heat Wave doesn't have? Is the order symbol.
Yeah, a 5 difficulty cantrip that also does some cool things if you're getting ahead with your ranged attacks. It wears stats well because it draws a card, and then if you're going into it on a tear on a turn, you can really just debilitate your opponent's board. We see that Dylan on Shigaraki is using his considerable amount of speed hate available to him because he wants to block this guy.
Yeah, you gotta. I mean, you gotta stop. You want to stop the opener on Shoto 2 all the time, right? Shoto 2 gets to just make such a threatening poke. +2/+2 and stun 2 on my poke. Like every attack feels good when you're playing it like that. Blazing Icicle is just one of many of those. And one thing that Shoto 2 is just so good at is really taxing your rival's resources on blocking that one, so that you can then just have something much scarier, like on the order symbol, a 1.3 million or a decaying palm slam come in and do like real damage.
Because of the difficulty curve of the lineup, though, I doubt we're going to be executing many more moves. But that is usually the question that we ask a Todoroki 2 deck. What do you do after you've pressed all your buttons on your character? What do you do past that point?
You stun 2'd, you +2/+2'd, they full blocked. What do you do now?
Right. Yeah, you have
you got
to
no
be able to
momentum.
follow up.
What do you do now?
And we didn't give the dual needle back to our opponent.
We're down for a once per game here, he says.
Yeah. And that's not the worst thing ever. Putting the ball into your opponent's park and saying, "Hey, if you want to press the button, you can press the button. I'm prepared." Is something that you could that could maybe bait your opponent to making maybe a hasty decision because they don't want to lose that momentum.
He says, "Yeah, I got 22 health. I'm not worried about it just yet." And it looks like our friend Dylan is also not super worried about it yet, because we're not gonna enact a once per game here. Just gonna throw out our Vile Seizing, try and get a little cantrip action, try and draw some more cards, and just see what's up, right? We've also got a blood evaluation on the board, so maybe we don't want to be too hasty with our momentum, right? That is such a powerful resource while a card like that is on your field. Being able to ready that and draw cards is so powerful.
Yeah. Speaking of Shigaraki, by the way, I want to point out that blood evaluation card. Oh my God, you failed a check. That's so crazy.
What did you do that for, dummy?
What did you do that for, you silly Billy? I guess I'll get another momentum.
It is the masterminding time. Holy cow. We're online. We got all the text now.
Blood evaluation in Shigaraki 2 is one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
What about Shigaraki 3 though?
No. It is cool here. You got the momentum, but I'm saying in 2 because you were talking earlier about how you hadn't seen it.
I genuinely thought you had misspoke there.
No,
sorry.
I'm serious.
I've doubted you, Christopher. Tell me about Shiggy 2.
I'm dead serious. It's a card you get to commit for the character's ability to get a momentum, and then on the follow-up you get to ready it and draw a card with that momentum you pulled off of the previous attack. And off of the death symbol, you have all these really fast, mean fury attacks to take advantage of the extra momentum you may be pulling throughout the course of the turn. Big fan of blood evaluation. It's kind of like the it's like the answer to what if I don't want to play excited for blood? You play blood eval.
You got the technology. Ooh.
What are we committing?
Okay, Shoto popping out with the engine trouble here, defensively committing the snack time. So there's kind of like a whole buffet of blue cards in this Shoto deck. We've got some engine troubles, we've got some future is nows, we got a showdown, we got a flex your might. This guy is teched out with the blue cards. It's a very, very interesting build. I'm very eager to see what he continues to show us throughout this game, other than play 1.3 million and put +2/+2 on it. Like that, I mean, that's like the story of Order Shoto, right?
Right.
You play Jolt forever, you pick it up every turn, and then you kill him with a 5-speed 1.3 because that's unblockable when you're committed out and there's a thing in your pool. Yeah, and so on and so forth.
Well, you know what's cooler than a 5-speed indiscriminate shock? A 7-speed indiscriminate shock. You can tell, if you can say the future is right now.
You can future is now it. You can Mastermind's Apprentice it. You can in control it. There's like a pretty hefty amount of ways to put 2 speed on 1.3 in this deck.
Yeah. So if you have a bad turn into a Todoroki, you might just find yourself in a predicament.
Shot in the foot. Electric up to heck and back. As far as this Shiggy deck, we were kind of talking about this deck a little bit before the round went on. It's very familiar, right? This is very, very, very similar to what Jose has kind of been doing with Death Shiggy 3, since the set release. Lately, we've seen almost nothing but Order Shiggy and Searing Glacial Storms and Engine Troubles and all of this 1.3 nonsense. And that deck is fine and dandy, but Death? We're Death fans over here.
Killing people's cool, man, and there's nothing cooler than destroying your entire board with Whirlwind and then turning a Grenadier Bracer sideboard sideways.
Yeah, so this is kind of like a deck subtype that you guys have been messing around with ever since the HLC, right? You and Jose both took the Death Eraserhead deck that was doing the whole Grenadier Bracers, Fierce Whirlwind, type of thing, all the way to that event, and now we've kind of seen you guys evolving that deck onto Shiggy 3 now.
Yeah, so personally, I still think that Eraserhead is better at the archetype, but the attack lineup is very, very different. And so Jose just likes Shigaraki 3. He just says, "Hey, I want to play this character because this character is cool." And he gets to play this sort of cool toolbox, depending on the state of the meta, where he gets to sideboard into Nomu, or he gets to sideboard into Eraserhead, he gets to sideboard into Shigaraki 1, depending on the situation, because the attack lineup is fairly flexible. Fury attacks just have natural synergies with each other. That doesn't necessarily say, hey, you have to be playing a specific kind of character. And that's the strength of this list, is that it's very, very versatile.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at Shiggy's sideboard here, we have Eraserhead with 4 erases in our sideboard. We have Nomu and Winged Nomu, so we can go and become the Nomu Winged Nomu Dual Needle Lunge combo deck. We've got you and Jose's new favorite sideboard, Bursting Muscle Bash for the Recovery Girls.
I love that. This is clearly somebody who's learned a thing or two from a few guys who have learned a thing or two.
He went into the valleys, into the waterfalls, and the unicorns descended upon him. They taught him the technology. He's been blessed with knowledge.
And you know what? Our opponent is checking a lot of 3s and 4s, which is letting us draw just a schmillion cards. And it's one of the really, like, if you're a person who just feasts on Schadenfreude, Shigaraki 3's for you. If you love watching a man just have a really poor game, boy howdy is it fun to play that character into that.
A double Vile Seizing Turn definitely says that we're kind of like a 9-hander at this point. Yeah. We've also spent 1 card towards masterminding. Don't even feel the loss of that. Yeah, we're definitely not having a fantastic time here at Shoto. We just have so much advantage coming from Dylan's end right here. The thing is, though, that he's got to be careful, right? Chris is a very healthy stage. One little overextend here from Dylan could easily open him up to an intense clapback from this Order Shoto deck. We cannot disrespect them whatsoever. We gotta just be happy with our pokes that we did.
Yeah, absolutely. You gotta just take your licks where you can and control the game through your massive card advantage. Masterminding being in our momentum pile along with a different momentum is a huge deal when you're playing into a character who can shove one of our momentum into our hand. It means that we're going to be able to have our once per game online for our hopefully deadly follow up, and it's also just going to add another -1 to the checks on top of the response level that we have on our face. So
Yeah, we now get to once per game. So we get to get hit by Shoto and still have a momentum for once per game and our masterminded remaining, and that is fantastic. However, we've got 5 whole foundations right now, which actually means we have 3 whole foundations, right?
right, yeah. Those brute strengths are going to be sideways very shortly.
Yeah, thankfully the two, we do get to leave up double in control and are struggling with studies. So very, very good defensive options if there's not more stun coming from Christopher here.
I caught him
build turn.
I caught him counting foundations. So usually when you count foundations, it's because you're trying to figure out how many more you can build without going into deadlock. Unfortunately, we're gonna build 2 pass with 4 in our hand. They're all ready, and we are relatively healthy. We're not at sub 10 or something like that. But let's see if Shigaraki can close the game out here. I'm gonna assume that we're gonna be hitting that first form button and trying to just blitzkrieg our opponent.
I think if we got some orange in our hand, it's certainly time for a once per game. We probably won't be able to close out the game, but we can possibly force Christopher to use a ton of his speed reduction on board, right? We've got double unexpected heroes. I want those gone. I want those flipped. That citywide crisis, I want that thing removed. There's a lot of things that Chris poses defensively right now, but I'd love to make him start to have to work through them. But no once per game kind of signals that it might just be another little poke turn.
Interesting. I think that regardless of whether or not you're going to be trying to kill the opponent, you definitely don't want to pass into your opponent's turn without that ability proc, because Chris has 10 foundations out. You want to discourage a huge swing from him.
Yeah, I mean, we're Shoto 2 with a very healthy board. We got tons of damage pump, tons of speed pump. There's just going to be so many ways for us to really pressure Dylan next turn. I have to imagine that he doesn't plan on swinging much more, if at all, this turn. Because one bad check, I mean, even just going into Christopher's turn with a couple committed foundations, we're already starting down 2 because just stun 2 at base.
Yeah, it's a little scary for both of these guys. I think I can see this going in either direction depending on the content of each other's hands.
Yeah, I have to imagine that Dylan just doesn't have a turn. He doesn't have attacks in his hand that he feels. Yeah, we got him counting foundations now too. He just doesn't have snack time usage. Holy cow. Okay. See, I just imagine he just doesn't have the attacks in his hand yet that really say it's time to, you could actually get to put some pressure on right now with that once per game, essentially +1 speed to your moves this turn. Obviously the defensive applications of it are great, right? But if we don't feel threatened, we really don't want to pop that form there unless we feel like it's going to provide significant value during both our turn and the rival's upcoming turn.
Yeah, I think this is just going to be the opposite of a Schlobber knocker,
I definitely think that we're not going to be knocking any schlobbers anytime soon. I think this game is, unless Dylan gets really out of hand this turn, I think this one is going to be a grinder, especially as we secure damage on this Nitro. We are so content to just chill out from here.
Yeah, counting it. I think that you can pretty safely build into deadlock into the order symbol most of the time. I know that vial seizing is not like something people hate to play into. As long as you're not at 11 foundations, you can usually play through even a vial seizing deadlock. But
yeah, the only other really scary thing could be like a frozen slash, but by the time that's scary, we could get ourselves out of deadlock.
Right. Yeah. I think maybe we are just gonna send it. Maybe he was bluffing by counting his foundations. That's the next level bluff.
It's possible. Death and Order sharing a lot of cards this set, right? So there's certainly a world where we are wary and aware of what our rival can put out deadlock wise. But really so far this Shoto deck just hasn't shown us anything extremely crazy when it comes to that type of pressure.
Right. Wow.
I'm
Yep.
not sure what they're debating right now.
What do we check?
I don't know. Let me see if I can listen to these guys. There's some kind of a conversation occurring. So he just says, I don't know if he wants to take the nitro.
Gonna commit face or something? Interesting. Oh, it responded with Shigaraki and forced the commit out of the Todoroki so to prevent a draw.
Okay, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, but I think with the amount of speed hate available to both of these guys, it's we're gonna have to break through some board states.
There's a whole lot of speed hate.
And we're destroying with brute strength because we want to build one more foundation and not be in deadlock.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. We want to build some cute ones.
Yeah, forcing a heroic lineage. Well, not forcing, but activating it rather.
Yeah, this is a very, very unassuming nitro. We've put a lot of speed reduction into this. Definitely not something that we have to be afraid of. I'm not sure if we're gonna steal any more damage this turn.
All right, yeah, I'll assume this gets blocked. I'll assume we're gonna build. What do you you watch that Spider-Man movie, Levi?
I have not.
I haven't either. I was supposed to watch it with my sister yesterday, but I got a little caught up.
Oh, it's so funny you mentioned that, Riley, because we had in Top Cuts, we had a dad in Top Cuts that neglected to tell his wife and 4-year-old that the event might last a really long day too, and they were supposed to go see Spider-Verse, and then he made it all the way to like top 4, and so they didn't go see Spider-Verse.
Oh no!
It was tragic. It was tragic. Jose took him out. I think it was either Jose's top 4 or top 8 game.
Yeah, it was the fourth kind.
Yeah, and they sat there in the pre-match lobby talking for like 20 minutes, and then Jose just murdered him 2 times in like 10 minutes. And as they became like best friends and bonded over not seeing Spider-Verse, and then Jose was like, I had to throw it all away.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know what I have to do.
It's business now. It's business. So that was a very productive poke turn. We are going into Christopher's turn with no committed foundations. We've got a mastermind on lockdown. We've got 3 cards in hand. We've got a million momentum and a blood evaluation. So possibly, 1 card from blood evaluation, maybe more from Shigaraki, potentially a lot of cards, double in control for all of the speed reduction. We're in a fantastic spot here.
It's interesting that we destroyed that foundation if we were not going to build a 10th card, but
very interesting.
But it might have just been a situation where you said, no, I'd rather hold that as a block or something. But yeah, I think we're gonna see a single damage go through, and a single stun, maybe 2, depending on how frisky we're feeling. Might even see this block. Might see a 3 check off the top of Shoto's deck. I think that was a 5.
It is. We are not going to be drawing cards anytime soon on this attack.
Yeah.
So this jolt is probably going to lead into something sinister, I hope, because we definitely need to. The interesting part about Shoto, we get to give anything 2/2, but we only get to give a ranged attack stun 2. So giving 2/2 here might just say that this is the only one this turn.
If it is, we're at 10 foundations already. Did we destroy one with a self-sacrifice? Because you certainly don't want to be at 11 foundations into snack time.
No, we were so we're actually at 9. We never got quite to 10. We were just at 9 on the last turn. So we can build 1. We get the whirlwind out of the hand though.
Nope, that stays there, but we'll take 1. We'll take 1.
So let me build first, then you can get rid of it. I hope we have some follow-up here to put stun 2 on, but honestly, we would need a very aggressive turn to do anything truly meaningful against this very, very healthy defensive Shigaraki board.
Yeah, I think that putting the 2 speed and the 2 damage onto the jolt kind of telegraphed that we're gonna be building.
I agree. Yeah, we just can't find the aggression here as Christopher. Unfortunately, he's got a very aggressive build. We got 19 attacks and 60 cards, and we're Shoto too. should be fine. But seeing Jolt finally is a big thing. This guarantees that we have Jolt for the rest of the game now, and that feels very good.
Not quite. There's a house of cards in
Oh my god, he's
Shigaraki's
building
board.
he's building a house. He's masterminding it up, man. He's masterminding it up. Yeah, we might see the house of cards come in to make our electric Jolt very, very sad.
Yeah. Please, first form. I want someone to die.
Christina, I'm an advocate, right? Oh my
Oh
god.
no, build one.
Don't
And
please
it's
don't hit me with the build one.
tight-lipped.
Please don't hit me with the build one. Please don't do it.
No.
Oh my
How
goodness.
big is this?
Listen, Christopher. I'm an advocate for some good, healthy length games of Universus. I'm not a turn 2 gamer, never have been, never will be. But eventually,
What?
I do want to see some fisticuffs thrown. I'm seeing a horrid lack, a horrendous lack, an abhorrent lack of fisticuffs being thrown right now.
All right. Well, this means that Todoroki will be able to churn a little bit of butter. He's going to show us a big one. Show me a big one.
If he shows me like a decaying palm slam
It's
now, I'm gonna lose my mind.
It's gotta be a 7 damage decaying.
Oh, please show me the 7 damage, buddy. So we're gonna do the lovely flex your might dance right now. We found our one of, boys. It's time to get crazy with it. So we're each gonna reveal an attack. Granted, our rival doesn't have to reveal if they don't want to.
5 damage move.
4 damage move, just a frozen slash.
But it looks like reveal anything.
Yeah, our rival neglected to reveal, which makes sense because we didn't attack last turn.
Sure.
Okay. All right, it's time. We finally found the good ones here. Now, the sad part is we have to decide, Bromley. We have to decide if we're going to get to pick up our electric jolt, or if we're going to use the commit, or actually we have to decide if we're okay with getting both, but our commit has to be the house of cards.
Yeah, we didn't immediately slam it. Right? Oh no, okay, we did.
We're slamming it. You got to commit that house of cards, buddy. You got to do it. All right, there it is. Yeah, that's the happy ultimatum here, right? Because if we commit anything else, Shigaraki plays in enhance and immediately houses of cards the jolt away. But then if we just first enhance lift it so it doesn't get house of cards, then we don't get to commit. So this is our best of a bad scenario type of situation.
So I think if you're trying to just like kill them, you get rid of a defensive piece or something like that. This might be just him saying, "No, I want my electric jolt back, so I'm gonna flip. I'm gonna get nope. Oh, we'll draw. Nice 3 check.
Goober. Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely want my jolt back. I 100% want my jolt back.
Puts 2/2 on the frozen slash, which this is the one, correct me if I'm wrong, that also gives 2/2 to the next one.
Yes, this is the Heroes Clash Shoto 2 support, which is really funny because it's the one with the mixture of Shoto 1 and 2 symbols, but it's like 100% the Shoto 2 card.
It's Shoto 2's card.
It has the magic Dark Shadow Ruin card words that say, hey, it's a Shoto 2 card. If you got a speed and damage bonus, do the darn thing. Given our next one 2/2 is going to feel very good. Racking up these stats and racking up this stun is how we're going to close out this game, especially as Dylan just refuses to build into Deadlock. Shoto 2 is a weird character, right? Because he scales, right? On turn 2, he's insane. Stun 2 says commit half your board. On turn 5, when you have 17 foundations, Stun 2 not very good. That's way less than half of our board. So with our rival refusing to move past 10 foundations, our character does at least always say commit a 5th of their board. And that's better than whatever 2 out of 17 is. So yeah, I don't hate our rival not wanting to go into Deadlock, just out of fear of these frozen slashes and these vile seasons. And I mean, I guess we did make the right decision because we'd be taking a lot of burn damage right now.
Yeah. So this is the thing. Locally, I have some Todoroki 2 lovers, and when we discuss frozen slash, I'm saying it's either a 0 of or a 4 of, because the high roll of drawing multiple of them is huge, right? You know, you got to extremely overstated 4 diff at that point, a 5i6 into a 5i6 into a 5i6 with a crazy good Deadlock, by the way.
Yeah, 11 points of stats on a 4 diff is crazy. That's nuts.
Yep.
6 dips,
Especially
get
when
those sometimes.
if you can chain 2 of them into a third attack or something like that, it turns your once per turn into something actually meaningful and scary, right? Not that Todoroki doesn't have meaningful abilities. There's 3 very strong abilities, but the reason why he has 3 very strong abilities is because he doesn't have one very big one. He has 3 like good ones that synergize into each other. And so Frozen Slash, I think, is most impactful in this situation we have right here, where you can get 2 in a row or even 3 in a row.
Yeah, no, this is fantastic. We're really juicing the value out of our ones per turn. And look at this. We have begun to force Dylan to push permanent buttons to survive here. We've finally flipped an in control for -2 speed. Ooh, blocking with the +3 block mod. That does make a lot more sense.
You can see this is so fun to me because you can see how the gears turned on the previous turn, right? We opted to build tight-lipped, right? Because we sort of know some facts about our opponent's deck. The only mid that we've seen so far was Electric Jolt and Blazing Icicle has a high attack, right? So we held our high blocks because we didn't want to die to the Vile Seizings, the Frozen Slashes, and the Blazing Icicles, even though someone with style sounds very good into a stun deck, right? Stalking Your Prey sounds very good into a deck that's putting 2 speed on something, right? He opted to build his mid block because he wanted to hold his highs, which I think is a really cool thing that our viewers can learn from, is that sometimes you don't put the most impactful card in your hand onto your board because you might need that block zone.
Yeah, we're certainly Chris has not shown us any reason to need a +1 mid tight-lipped block against this deck so far, unless we're going to pump up a Jolt, which if that's what Chris is spending his turn doing, we're not worried.
yeah, exactly. I think the only really scary thing to be worried about here would be a indiscriminate shock.
Yes.
And if you're worried about that, you got to start destroying your board right now. It would be a huge commit though, right? I think if we're trying to chain into some indiscriminate shocks, you'd start seeing these requesting start getting flipped over.
Oh yeah. Now this is what's scary, is that we've committed our character here.
There they go.
Meaning we do not care about picking up that Jolt. We've got a use for that momentum. Oh my god, if we see a Decaying Palm Slam, I'm gonna lose my mind.
That would be really, really powerful in this sequence, right?
There's also a world where like Shigaraki has to be mindful about his cards in hand, because if he ever just puts himself in a position where he doesn't have a block anymore, we get to go crazy with those unexpected heroes and just pump our damage like crazy if you've run out of blocks. Oh, we're opting to EX the Jolt. Ooh.
It was EX.
Okay.
Any responders? No? Nope, just a 5 mid 4. Gonna put you to 10. Make you uncomfy.
Definitely an uncomfy number to be at, right? Especially as we have to be mindful of how much more do I get to get away with blocking before I just auto lose to a 1.3.
I think that's it's gonna be. It's gonna end up being a indiscriminate shock, maybe a double indiscriminate shock.
Because remember, we still have that floating +2/+2.
Yeah.
We have not played our next ranged move yet. Ooh, Flex Your Might is going to come in and put one more down as well. If a 1.3 comes in here at 5 speed, Ice Gliding could make it 6 speed. Our best block could be on a 6, 7, 8, 9. We've got 4 things ready right now, but Stun 1 and I Commit 1, you Commit 1 are going to change that. Control can reset that. Oh my god. There's a lot of back and forth here.
You go ahead. Oh, it's another Jolt.
Another Jolt. I mean, we have so many resources here. We can still play that 1.3.
Yeah, I mean, even if you check a 3 on it, it's still going to be...
It's going to be on a 9, right? We have 7 foundations to commit. We get to leave our Ice Gliding up, or we get to say, I commit 1, you commit 1. And if we can get our rival totally stunned out here, it's going to be very big.
I think you, as the Shigaraki player, have to use that Struggling with Studies right now, right? Because you know that if it's an indiscriminate shock that's following up, you want the card out of your card pool. You know he's going to stun immediately upon it hitting the table. You got to press the button so that you can use your in control and also get that quote unquote -1 speed out of your card pool.
You know what you also do right now? You say, "Ooh, we're going to flip unexpected heroes to try and force a block on this Jolt." Oh, that's so interesting. You know what? So you know what I would be doing right now if I was Dylan? I'd say, hey, you've got like 1 card in your deck. Can I Can I see your discard pile? How many 1.3s are in there?
And here we go. We see
Okay,
him
yep,
picking up the 2 mid block.
Called it on the nose, Christopher. Picking up with our struggling with studies, and oh my god! So we have to
Wow.
block this jolt now. It's
Yeah.
not going to commit anything, but it's going to put a thing back in our pool, which is very good for making that 1.3 super duper unblockable.
Yeah, and like you said, it's gonna have that +2/+2, right? It's gonna have ice gliding and access. I think it's just gonna be too unattainably big. You know what would be the funniest thing ever to me is if he plays the Futures Now into it on a
Oh my god!
8, right?
I would lose my mind. I would lose my mind, Christopher.
I want all of the stats. I want so many +2/+2s.
That line does work though, right? Into double 3 checks, we would
Yeah.
commit 5, and then if we check another 3 on the 5 diff 1.3, we commit 2. We're
I
just
don't need
gonna
it.
send it on the 9. We know that we're checking, ideally, if we know our list, right? We know that we're checking a 5 there. And this is gonna start as a 5 low because of the frozen slash. Ice sliding can bring it up to a 6 low. We have got to in control up. We've got to in control up on this one
And
to make sure that we can get that -2 speed, because that's going to bring it down to 4 speed. If we have a 1 block on a 4, 5, 6, 7, we have to check a 6 and commit our character. wait, we can ready our blood evaluation.
Yeah, there it goes.
Yes. He found it. He found the technology. We're getting there. We're getting there. But this just means that now we have to have the good block. We have to have the good block. It doesn't have to be on zone though. We're not dying on half.
So
Or- no.
you would die
Oh,
in half
no,
because
yeah,
you
yeah,
partial
yeah,
blocked the
I didn't even
the 10
realize we
damage.
partialed the jolt. That's rough.
So a Vile Seizing has a 1 high block.
Mhm.
If that's in the cards, then you could pass the check.
Well, we do well, no, right? Because we're not. This is a low, right? So we're going to need to.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of the low blocks inside of our deck, right? What +1 lows does this deck have?
If he's playing instant Shining Flash,
We are not. We have +2 low on a Howitzer Cyclone. That's or a Forcing Surrender. That's or in control. There's a lot of +2 lows, but a +2 low does not. Or no, it does, right? Because we haven't.
committed yet.
Yeah, we didn't say I commit 1, you commit 1, right?
Not
Oh,
quite
he
yet.
says check a 5. Oh, I guess I better cycle then. That's so funny. Yeah, so if we say I commit 1, you commit 1, you have to have a +1 low, and there's not a +1 low in this deck, as
thing
far
is
as
not
I
listed.
can see, because then we're gonna only have the 2 resources, and the block would be on an 8. Man, this is crazy. This is crazy. And you know what, man? With the fact that we needed almost every foundation in our stage to commit for this entire turn, we were never embarking on this with if once per game was online.
Like we did the defensive once per game.
Yeah, I mean, look, I get it. As bad as it can feel to just go once per game and then build 5 pass, like that's what you got to do sometimes. You have to be okay with not getting the aggressive benefits of the once per game. He's not I commit 1, you commit 1? Uh-oh. Well, let's see what the block is. The block is still very failable if it's not a good one. Uh-oh. He's not slamming it down. It's on an 8.
In control.
Okay, it's on the 8. We've got to check that 5.
Do the math, gamers.
Do the math. Come on. Do the Tim Keefe check. That's on the Tim Keefe check.
Oh,
And it's not the 5 check he needs. That is going to send Shigaraki to the slammer. What a hefty game 1, Christopher.
Wow, yeah. That was a thinker for sure.
Yeah, these guys have got 20 minutes on the clock now. Definitely enough time for Shoto to close out a game again. But is that enough time for Shigaraki to close out 2 games? We're getting really dicey here.
If he just hard molds for like his Grenadier Bracers and just full sends a couple of build turns saying, hey, I've seen what your deck can do. you're not going to kill me. And then finds his once per game early, then maybe. But doing it twice, man, that's a tall ask.
Yeah, it's an incredibly hefty ask here. You know, there's a world where like Christopher can kind of just challenge them and be like, hey man, you know, if you can find 27 in 20 minutes, you know, that didn't go that plan didn't exactly happen at all last game. You know, he can kind of just chill out on this one for the most part. While at the same time, the constant pressure is on, because if Dylan is playing the deck that if he slips up, he gets blown out the gate, right? He's playing the 19 health character against 5 speed 1.3 million, the deck.
Right. Yeah, this deck is certainly trying to punish, and that's what we saw, right? Is that Shigaraki, Dylan was not willing to take that risk, right? And so Chris had to open the gates himself, right? But both decks are kind of trying to capitalize on bad turns from the opponent, and neither was willing to or able to find those openings until that last turn where Chris drew just a schmillion attacks.
That's like, yeah, we didn't even pick up our jolt. That's the craziest part about that turn.
We just raw had two of them. Just had two of them.
Just found the goods, man. Found the raw 5 attacks. So the you know, it's funny you said that, you know, both of these decks are trying to capitalize on the other one having bad turns. You know, obviously, like, that's just an order symbol thing. So Shoto doing that makes sense. Shigaraki, we're not seeing him on the order symbol, but that's just like capitalizing on your rival's bad turns is just in the blood and veins of this character. It is just the essence of Shigaraki 3's text, that no matter what symbol you're on, that is like the style. Is like you said earlier, man, we're sitting there enjoying watching our rival just have a bad game.
Yeah. And when they have a good one, we're like, stop shaking 5s, man. Stop it. Why?
I know, you're like, bro, let me draw a card. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
No, just this is not personal, bro.
Oh man. So that's interesting. There's an Eyes of the Tiger that just hit the discard pile. Which doesn't hit Shigaraki response or form, but it does protect you once from Vile Seizing.
Yeah, I mean, it does say that we can go into deadlock and not fear Vile Seizing. That's pretty nice.
For each copy of Eyes of the Tiger out. But that's a cool include. And I think one that
does Eyes of the Tiger not function like a blanket ability?
It doesn't affect character abilities.
Right, but like for Vile Seizing, right? If we just Eye of the Tiger once, we're safe from all Vile Seizings, right?
Correct. Yeah. Checks cannot be modified by non-character effects for the rest of the turn. So it would.
I didn't know if it was like I'll modify your check first. Okay, I'll say they can't be modified, but my modify still lingers because I did it before. I didn't know if it worked like that or if it was like a static thing.
If I can give you like a metaphor or a simile, I guess in this case, it would be Eye of the Tiger is like a bouncer, and it only lets in character effects.
Right. No, that makes much more sense. I just, you know, I've seen Stranger Things.
yeah, sure. No, of course.
This game confuses my little brain sometimes.
Yeah, I'm using logic, not game rules. I'm not pointing at the LGR section that says you can do that or can't do that. So you know, somebody verify. Somebody go talk to Nilberg or Jose or something. But
this is so funny. We failed the Vile Seizing check. Snap masterminded. Then Chris just said, "Okay, let's both lift the momentum."
Yeah, put it back, sir. Put it back, please.
That is so funny. If I couldn't hear these guys, I would have almost thought that we like incorrectly masterminded or something. He just took it right back. Just took it right on back.
It's the right play, right? As long as Shigaraki only has one momentum, I think you should be shoving it into his hand. As long as you can keep him off that first form, you know. The better it gets.
The unfortunate part, right, is that we've now said, okay, you tell me to check a 5, I have to commit to pass it now, or else you're just gonna put the masterminding back in.
Yeah.
So we kind of committed ourselves to having to stop Dylan from drawing a card there, which is like also okay. Ooh, okay. We've not seen this move yet. This is we were talking so much about that plus ultra pack, man. Check out this full Callan Impact. What's up with this bad boy?
This one is such a cool card, and it's what he opts to play instead of the instant Shining Flash that you've seen from this deck list before. It's just a very efficient, very cool little 4-diff move that punches above its weight, at least in the damage department, right? And it makes your opponent really uncomfortable. I've seen there's the masterminding again.
Oh, we have not failed a check.
Oh,
Is it? It was a hard once per turn.
Masterminding says you can't use multiple copies of it.
Yes, only one copy of this response. Same card, but still a hard once per turn.
Yeah, I mean
Oh,
that's a reversible game state, I think.
Yeah, super fine.
I think he just removed the card that you
Yeah,
checked.
we're just gonna remove that bad boy. Makes sense to me, man. Yeah, wow, Mastermind. They did not want you to go, oh, okay, double masterminding on one failed check.
yeah. Especially going first. Can you imagine? Or going second into that.
Oh my god.
You fail your fourth of the turn, your opponent goes masterminding. Yeah.
It'd be kind of messed up, man.
It'd be pretty messed up. Yeah.
That'd be kind of messed up. They're talking now that since they had seen the top card, that forcing surrender, and he has to draw one still for the failed check, he could have just taken that card.
Taken the card, yeah.
They know what it is.
It's okay. I mean, I understand being on stream can be a little nerve-wracking sometimes.
Yeah, wait, look, we're at locals, boys. It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. All right.
We're hanging out. We're
not
just
gonna call the
out.
judges. It's all good.
I love seeing the full count impact in here. I think this card's really, really cool. Just I was a huge Merciless Rush gamer in set one. Back when I was a lesser Levi and I played hand-sized characters that make that card good. Now we don't play those anymore. But this ability of just like, hey man, if you want to stop this, you're gonna take damage or lose a foundation. I like that ultimatum. It's just like even more frustrating in Shigaraki because I mean you can't take the damage, can't give him the momentum. So it does just say lose a foundation.
I know that Jose is a big proponent of. He's really excited to play this new Kirishima, and
oh man,
that Kirishima with this card is really scary, right? If you let it hit you or you partially block, you might take more damage. And if you block it, you might be down 2 foundations, right?
Yep.
Same with Merciless Rush. Like those are just very brutal cards to play into when a character is already limiting your resources, like a Shigaraki 1 does, like Mineta 2 does. And so this card is gonna be, I think its stock is gonna go up as more tools present themselves to allow us to, ask our opponent really rude questions about their stage,
Yeah, in general, like as control / destruction / resource, manipulation just becomes more of an archetype in the game. The cards like this will obviously just go up and up. And I think, Shigaraki is kind of like a very real introduction of that into the game. We really haven't seen a deck that functions similarly like this in MHA's card design and format before. And I think for the people who really enjoy you just don't get things to pay cost with part of Shigaraki 3, they're really going to enjoy Kirishima 3. I mean, we're talking about full count impact so much, you literally can't half block that attack in Kirishima 3. You half block, take 2 and lose 2. Just take 4, dummy.
Yeah, just take all of it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's just a brutal little move.
It is a brutal. I love moves like that. I love like little 4-diff moves that are just like a pain in the neck to deal with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Val Season's one of those. Oh, here he says, I found another one. Let me have it.
Finally, it's here. Finally, we are the mat. Bromley, I was beginning to think, to consider the thought that Dylan Edwards was, in fact, not the mastermind. but it would seem that he, in fact, is the mastermind.
He is the one true. He's the Highlander of masterminds, actually.
The Highlander of masterminds. It's been there for a little minute now, but can we just talk about the fact that he's got a Night Watch on board? What a sick tech.
Yeah, and there's at least one action in our discard pile.
Yep. There's definitely a billion masterminds in here. Like Shigaraki 3 is legally required to play Mastermind and also legally required to play Showdown to almost the same extent. Like, those cards are just too good to pass up with what that deck is trying to do. So just like, Night Watch makes so much sense.
Yeah. A cancel is something, and especially at this level, right? A blanket cancel for any non-character effect is as good as whatever the best ability is in your opponent's a tool, their arsenal, right? And when your opponent is trying to just shove an indiscriminate shock down your throat, destroying that can sometimes say, hey, -10 damage.
Yeah, like that's so huge, man. Being able to just turn that play off is really nice, you know. Obviously, as a big proponent of Eraserhead himself, right? The guy that birthed the card from his kit.
Right.
When you're a controlled defensive deck that's just actively trying to have an answer to everything that your rival is doing and to always be prepared, that's just not how real life works. There's always going to be those things that come out the woodwork that you just aren't always in a position to handle. Nightwatch is just one of those like get out of jail free buttons. And for very similar reasons, I'm actually really excited about stopping for breakfast from set 5.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm here to cancel some actions, man. The future is actually not now, buddy.
It's not today, you know. I
Not
don't need
yet,
to have
partner.
concentrate or showdown in my hand to cancel your futures now. Yeah, having that card is a big deal, especially with some of these really powerful actions that we've been dealing with over the past few sets. Seize the advantage,
Oh my
run
god.
away. Masterminding. Even in this case, right, being able to cancel a crucial action like that is really, really strong.
Canceling runaways is actually heinous. That like stopping for breakfast just sits on your board and says, just review every one runaway.
Or have two of them.
Yeah, or
Right.
play 2 at some point.
Yeah, it's certainly brutal, pretty much no matter how you slice it. And the only thing that's kind of stymieing my hype for that card is that it's a 3 difficulty unique foundation, and it's not immediately applicable across the board. I think it'll be a neat sideboard slot for some of my decks, because not every deck is going to be relying on actions.
Yeah, I think the big thing that I do enjoy about it is 2 of its symbols, right? Fire and Void don't really have like, oh, I'm playing Fire or Void. I have to play this 3 diff, right? So it's a little easier to slot in.
Sure.
Air, I mean, you're playing Rescue Completed, right? So
Yeah, I think all 3 of those symbols, could use another a good unique 3 diff. So, and it certainly got it in the form of that card.
I'm here for Void having like a 27th 2 of tech piece answer that I want to put in my sideboard.
Just make it all harder for you.
Oh, just so much harder, man. So much harder. You walk in, you're like, okay, I got to read the room. I got 10 cards. How are we going to work them? Oh my God. This man's jolted up, Christopher.
He is, he's saying that I'm going to give you 2 quick ones.
For every mastermind you'll find, I'll find a jolt. Handshakes?
Handshakes across the board.
Yeah, and man, I've also not realized the
Fail it?
okay, opting to fail it. I assume that there was a mastermind minus or 2 on that.
And the Shigaraki response, perhaps?
Possibly. So that's kind of where your responses become interesting because Shigaraki and Mastermind both say that you get to fail the card, right? So you want to stack them sparingly because the second you put too many of them on, is it nope? We're actually just going to pay for it. I'm
yeah. No. I want it actually.
So it looks like there was just 1 on it because we committed 3 resources for that. So we must have checked a 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
So we didn't do any stacking on them by the looks of it, which is correct, right? I think the second you put more than 1 -1 to my check, I'm just failing that bad boy.
Sure. Here's the second masterminding enhance.
Ooh, this is getting spooky. Oh, it's 2/2 time as well. He says, "Screw it, man. I'm not finding that ranged move anytime soon."
Yeah, I mean, so we
2
saw that
mastermindings on this one. 2 mastermindings stacked up now on this one.
I think he was marking that he used it, perhaps, or is he using both of them? I think you're right. Actually,
Yeah,
he's been pretty diligent at marking those.
I think the first lock was Shiggy responding on the check of the second jolt. Now we have these 2 mastermindings coming in, stacking on our next check. Either way, we had 3 -1s. We've used 1. Now the other 2 are in play, regardless of who -1. It's all Shigaraki, right? He is the mastermind. Oh, this is scary. On a 3 with -2.
Did we?
Oh, I think that they're debating the health right now. Oh, on a 3, we've checked a 1.
I think you just gotta let that go, homie.
Yeah, you have other foundations to build, surely.
Unless you're gonna do the full greed move and tap 2 requestings, hope that your opponent can't deal with the third.
That'd be pretty funny. I mean, I guess we can commit League in our character, right?
Wow.
We don't care about getting that. Oh, okay. That's our only foundation to build. Yikes. We have to electric jolt the heck out of those stack times, or we might die.
Yeah,
now this is a once per game window if I ever saw one.
so there is some, like, your opponent has 2 electric jolts and you have no way on board to deal with that fact, right? So you're down 2 foundations, probably your best ones. It's almost definitely 2 snack times unless you use that night watch. But yeah, here comes the first form. It's
all right. So we got once per game online with double masterminding and momentum. These next 2 turns are gonna be heck, Bromley.
yeah, we gotta chew through quite a bit on both sides, but I don't know if Shigaraki has the fuel in his stage to be able to make this stick and go all the way home. I guess we're gonna find out.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, Shoto's at what, 18 health?
Nice 2-check, brother.
That is a big 2-check right there. I don't think you're committing 5 anytime soon. So let's get to do my thing. Yeah, that's the big thing this turn. With the once per game, our rival's only got 5 foundations. We get to do whatever we want, right? We get to do whatever we want.
What was?
Did we just flip our snack time?
What?
Jolt is commit them, not flip them.
Okay, we started that.
Beautiful. Thank you, guys. Thank you. That's super funny. Can you imagine if Jolt was flip a foundation?
Dear God.
Holy
I mean,
cow.
There's benefits to either one of those 2 things, but yeah, brutal.
Honestly, you're right. We got season the advantage. Who cares?
Yeah. I think pushing our opponent to use some of those requestings might be the goal here, because if they don't have it on their follow-up turn, then oh man.
Yeah, so that's kind of the big thing, right? We got to get one of our snack times through there. That says to me, honestly, that doesn't say that much to me. I think I would snack time there no matter what. I'm drawing a million cards over the next 2 turns. Like, I just know that I'm drawing a card on almost every Shigaraki enhance from here.
Yeah. I think unfortunately you're gonna lose Night Watch, and you gotta just gonna hit in control.
Interesting.
But yeah, I think at this point you're gonna try to just build a Schmillion and bully your opponent into a bad situation where they don't want to attack into you.
Mm-hmm.
Pressure those requestings. If they use literally any of them, it's a win.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So it looks like we got a requesting popping, bringing our unexpected hero back up. Gonna hopefully get another block, a little bit more block power. I mean, with ice gliding and unexpected, if we want to start committing requestings here, not literally committing them, flipping them, committing them to the play, right?
Mm-hmm.
Committing them as a resource. Ooh, tight-lipped. We've started tight-lipping. I think we got some OJ in the hand, Bromley.
I think it's just we're trying to force usage of things, right? And he makes the ice gliding go sideways. Probably going to force another requesting is there. It is, yeah. Ready the ice storm, and that's what I would want in this situation. Like maybe you can kill the opponent on 4 foundations, but what you really want is to limit their options for their follow up, because you're only at 12 life, and
it's not a 5. We've checked a 4 because of the once per game, so we're gonna have to commit 1 thing. Let me come in. You guys have 3 minutes on your clock right now. Also, I believe we got to commit 1 for that block, right? It was on a 5 and we've checked a 4, or am I mistaken? Oh, I'm so sorry. We totally thought you once per game, bud. My bad.
You didn't?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, the card got removed.
Thanks, guys. He actually, bro, gaslighting me right now on stream. All right, I'm done playing with you guys. Back to you again.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I was like, there's no way. I mean, the horse's mouth is telling me though, right? But no, he literally went, I have not once per game. I said, I'm so sorry, buddy. He goes, oh, I did once per game. This is premium. Oh, but that's it? Holy cow.
Yeah, I mean that's what I
Totally
think it
bad.
is. You force the usage out of his board, and then now you just got to build out and hope you check well, because next turn you're going to be drawing if your opponent attacks you, right? Like, bro, I was
You're
about to say
definitely going to
some.
be drawing.
I was
Most
gonna say
certainly.
I was gonna say some words I can't say on stream, but screw deadlock, okay? Screw deadlock. Just go there, man. You got a million cards in your hand. You're gonna draw so many more. You need them on board so you don't die to this double indiscriminate shock turn or something like that.
Yep. At the same
It's
time, though, if we held any foundations, we better be holding low block foundations here so that we don't
100%.
die. I don't want to
100%.
leave me not dying to 1.3s up to the fate of the top card of my deck a few times.
Yeah, especially when we chucked a couple of low blocks into our momentum in the form of masterminding.
We have thrown many low blocks into our momentum so far this game.
Well,
Okay.
here's the frozen slash.
All right. Oh, I'm smelling 18, Bromley.
Yeah, this is how we died last game.
Oh, I'm ready. Now, at the same time, though, right? There's a minute on the clock, so we're kind of in
Yeah.
entertainment mode from here on out, because as long as this turn lasts another minute, which I'm 100% sure it will,
get it, Todoroki.
Christopher will just win 1-0. But let's see if he can bring it to a 2-0 victory. I'm here for the show, man. Like you said earlier, Christopher, we got the whole 60 minutes, bud.
Yeah, paid for 60. May as well get it.
Yep, they paid for 60. We are getting paid for 60. It's got to be in the cards. I want to see 18 right here, right now. We got 2 momentum. Things can get scary.
I think he only needs 12, right?
Yeah, I think you're right. I thought Shoto was at 18 the whole time.
One of them is at 18. And you know what? In your timeline, he's at 18. In my timeline, he's at 12. We'll figure out where it is at the end of
the stream is correct. It is Shigaraki at 12. Man, that makes last turn feel even more worse now. We had to do 18. That's really hard.
Yeah, especially on 4 foundations, right?
It's not not an attractive amount by any means whatsoever. We've got a requesting online as well still, so like, oh man, Chris just got a lot of foundations. He's got a lot of resources to commit here.
Yeah, I would definitely heavily recommend using that Night Watch on something like the Eyes of the Tiger, and hope you can just force your opponent to have a bad turn. I mean, like you said, it's kind of just, this is all for show at this point, but yeah, I'm just trying to think, just as a purpose of the exercise, right?
Right.
What I do here, you know, you got
it is.
Oh,
checks a 2 is pretty filthy.
Checks a
we're
1.
Also gonna Shigaraki respond on it. You have checked a 1, my friend. Man. I mean, you have to pass this, right?
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you're losing your +2/+2. Because this is your next ranged attack right here, right now, buddy.
You showed us. It's gonna leave. And since we used all the buttons on our character, don't care, long hair, send it to the underwear, something. I don't know.
The fact that we don't care is scary. we don't care about picking up one of our momentums.
Yeah.
Okay, it looks like there's one little masterminding coming in. We're fighting. Oh, nope.
You gotta slam the Eyes of the Tiger, right?
We're using Shigaraki check a 5 first, because we want to make sure that masterminding is on the next card that Shoto plays, not his check a 5. Because like, we're drawing off that no matter what.
Yeah, we drew heat. He's trying to kill. He said, "I don't want the 1-0. I want to murder you."
He's here for the 2-0 victory, and I'm in full support. This is, timers be darned. We're here to throw down. Okay, we got double mastermind on the next one. Your next one sucks, bud. Your next one's got -3. Now, what kind of sucks about that though is that we can just throw like a foundation or something to it.
Break it, yeah. Or we could get rid of the Eyes of the Tiger and not deal with any of it.
I am 100% certain the Eye of the Tiger is going to get night watched.
Yeah, but then you force a remove on the opponent's plays.
Yes. No, it's still totally correct. I'll remove Eye of the Tiger to remove your night watch. Yes.
Yeah.
That feels more like my ability than yours, buddy. Yeah, it's a rough little spot to be in right now. We're gonna take this frozen slash on the chin. We have to block everything from here. Show me the third one. Or actually, show me the foundation you're gonna throw away first.
into the third one.
Yeah. We're not passing a darn thing, man. We could literally throw. Actually, no, we can't throw a 0 away because we could check positively on it.
Oh my god. Nah, he
This
said no
is,
foundation, sir. He said, I want.
This is shitty. We're gonna commit 3 foundations for this because this is a 2. This is on a 5, so we got to commit 3 for this.
But I'm gonna assume that, man, why didn't we just get rid of the eye of the tiger?
Definitely should have just removed the eye of the tiger if we were prepared to commit it.
Yeah.
Oh my god, though, this is I mean, I think
4-4
whatever's
on an indiscriminate.
Yeah, whatever's coming is just one-shotting us.
Yeah, it's gonna be too much speed, especially since we have no speed hate
Oh
available
my
to us on
god,
board.
this is coming in with 4-4.
Chicks at
Holy
2
cow.
doesn't matter though, because
Yeah,
it's ignoring progressive.
Yep. Checks a 2, so you get to leave your ice. No, you leave the gotcha up. For I commit 1, you commit 1, respond +1 speed. It might matter. It might matter.
Yeah, I think, okay, so if we have another 2 low block, this is 8-9 speed?
It should be a 7
Maybe
speed.
7 speed.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, nope. Okay. Oh,
okay, so we're gonna go back to printed, and we're gonna say you got 2 from that. It's gonna get 2 from that, and there we go. 7 low 9. There we go.
Beautiful. So if we ice gliding, it's gonna be for 8. So our block would be on a 10. If we stun 1, we can also struggling though.
Yeah.
We can also, yeah. It's, man, the best part about this Future Is Now play is it makes its base damage lethal, meaning if we Night Watch the damage enhance, it does not matter.
Yeah. I think
it's a clear pool up. Okay.
Unfortunately, I think we're just dead.
I think we might just be dead no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be 8.
Speed. I guess the same either way. The gotcha would have secured it.
Yes, the gotcha would make this a 9 speed right now because we were gonna commit 1 for 1 speed. Commit 1. I commit 1. You commit 1. Respond +1 speed would be the superior exchange. But I mean, right? And that's relevant, right? Right now, this block, if we have a +1 mod, is on a 9. If we check a 5, we pass.
He doesn't have them.
He doesn't. Nope. We're not +1 gamers.
No, we're not +1 gamers. Not playing.
Okay, on a 10, you gotta check a 6, buddy. It is not there for us. Holy cow. He said, I'm here for the 2-0 win. I'm getting the 2-0 win. Order Shoto too. You know, it's really funny, Christopher. I spent the entirety of game 1 going, look at all of the things that the Shoto deck is doing past just your normal Order Shoto 2 deck, which is +2/+2 on 1.3. But sometimes though, when you got 10 minutes on the clock, buddy, we must resort to what we know works.
Yeah, I mean, it worked both games, right? Just Frozen Slash into Frozen Slash seems pretty cool, you know, just getting a triple activation of our character out there.
Fantastically cool string of moves by both of those guys. I wish we would have gotten to see Shigaraki put out some more crazy strings. We didn't see, you know, the dual needles into dual needles and the Grenadier bracers and the whirlwinds. You know, I wish we would have gotten to see more of what that deck can do, because I know, and I know that you know, that thing has some crazy cool tricks up its sleeve.
Yeah, I mean, we saw a few of it, right? We got to see a bunch of mastermindings out. He really tried to exert some control over his opponent, but his opponent said, nope, I'm going to do it anyway, and full sent it. But that's what happens sometimes when you're a little baby 19 health character, right?
Those are the caveats of playing control, is sometimes people don't want to get controlled, and you got to be ready for that. Sometimes you're in control, sometimes you're not. That is the caveat of Shigaraki 3, and Shoto was just here to bust jaws, man. What a sick match to end the night on. Bromley, thank you so much for sitting down with me and doing this tonight. It was a blast.
Yeah, man, I had a ton of fun. Thank you for inviting me. I got to watch 3 cool matches. I got to lament
4, unless we're just saying Momo versus Bakugo wasn't cool.
No, that was cool too. It was cool too. We got to see like the last legs of the one with natures. You know, got to see some neat usage of this Futures Now card. Got to see Blazing Icicle out there in the wild, full like Impact. You know, just a bunch of really neat stuff.
The clones, the clones. We saw the clones.
Clones into Heroic Clash, right?
Crazy. What a blast it's been, man.
Lot
But
of
that's
fun.
that's good. That round does mean our night is coming to a close, guys. Once again, as always, if you're going to be there this weekend at our demo stream, I cannot wait. Please tell your friends, any of your card game buddies who have still been on the fence, send them my way, and I'll see if I can entice them to join our lovely, lovely MHA CCG family. And of course, Set 5 is on the way very soon. If you guys have not talked to your local game stores about doing pre-releases, please do that. I have with me one of the coolest game stores to play this game at ever right here with Mr. Bromley, and I'm sure he wants you to just as much. Make sure you're supporting your shops, supporting the game, and just getting in on the fun, man. I've got a ton of Set 5 pre-releases lined up, and I'm very, very excited to start raiding in an undaunted fashion.
Oh yeah, man. I am so unbelievably hyped for this set. I think it looks like the coolest one yet. I think that we're gonna see a lot of really neat decks, new characters, old characters are gonna start bursting onto the scene, and it's gonna be really, really fun.
Yep. I'm excited to see what the future holds, my friend. But for now, it's time for us to go rest our voices and let you guys have a good rest of your night. So I'm going to bid you all adieu, heroes, villains, and everyone in between out there. The vigilantes. That's our in between. Thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight, and we will see you guys next time. Have a good night.